Hello, this is Dr. Gwen Goolsby Tillery here with more kingdom content for you. I want to share a message that God gave to me a couple of weeks ago. It was a message that He gave to me to share for an outreach that I was doing. But as I got up to speak, God shifted the message. And so I just want to come on and share this message that God gave, because I believe that in this season that this is a message that can encourage and remind us of who God is and who we are in God. And so the message title, and it's going to be different parts to it. This is part one. The message title is "It's Not What It Looks Like." And when you think about what we're seeing right now in the world, it looks like doom and gloom. It's overwhelming, it's frustrating, it's annoying, it creates frustration, it creates some level of anger, and it literally just seems like we are going backwards instead of moving forward. But I want to speak to you and let you know that God, as always, is in control. Yes, I said it. God is in control. And so if God is in control, we know that nothing is going to happen unless He allows it. So let's focus on that and remember, it's not what it looks like. So I'm going to be coming from John 11. And since this is at least a 3-part teaching that I'm going to do, I'll focus on different parts of John 11, but it's John 11, 1 through 44, the overall message will be coming from. And it's the story of Lazarus. Yes, we all know the story of Lazarus. We understand what happened, but sometimes we need to be reminded of things. And this is the time I think we need to be reminded of who God is and what He's able to do. So when we look at the story of Lazarus, from the outside, it looked hopeless. Lazarus was dead, buried, and the situation seemed final. People even said by now, he stinks. This was from verse 39. But Jesus allowed what looked like the end to actually be an opportunity for Him to get glory. You heard it. He allowed what looked like it was at its end. It was over. It was chaotic. It was painful. He allowed it to happen so that at the end, He would be able to get the glory. I need you to look at that with your spiritual eyes and understand that that is the season that we are in. God is fully in control of what is happening. I don't want you to lose sight or ever think that it is man that is in control. I don't want you to ever lose sight and think that it is the devil that is in control. Now, God may be allowing some things to come forward, the schemes, the plots, and the plans of the enemy. But understand that nothing comes forth without God's permission. And as always, He will end up getting all the glory. And so, I just want to bring some key points to you around the story of Lazarus. Some key points. What it looks like is never really what it's about. What it really is often is a setup for God's power to be revealed. And in addition to that, it's an opportunity to remind us that God can make those things that look impossible possible. So as we think about the story of Lazarus, I just want to go into a little more detail of the story. Again, we know Lazarus was sick, right? And he had 2 sisters. His 2 sisters, Mary and Martha, realize he's sick, he's dying. They call for Jesus to come. Jesus is far away. They call for Jesus to come. Jesus doesn't show up. When He shows up, Lazarus is dead, and he's been dead now for several days. So what happens when Jesus returns? By the time he comes, Lazarus was dead, and everybody felt that it was over, it was done, it was finished. But understand this, just because it looks like the end doesn't mean God is finished. He's not finished. He wasn't finished with Lazarus. He's not finished with you, and he's not finished with us. He's not finished with his kingdom. Just because what looked like Jesus showing up late, or what looked like a denial, doesn't mean a denial. It looks like delay. It's not really delay. It's just set up for God to get his glory. Because the fact is that we have to understand fact versus faith. Martha met Jesus and said to him, this is coming from verses 21 through 27. Martha looks at Jesus and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. We've said that about sometimes people that may have passed on in our lives. Well, God, why weren't you there for them? Why weren't you there for me? Why did you allow this? But you see, we have to understand that God is all-knowing, and God makes all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. And so although it may hurt and it may be painful, we have to realize and recognize that God's plan and the way he does things is always better than ours. So the fact was that Lazarus was dead, but faith said Jesus is the resurrection and the life. And so just how Jesus was able to resurrect Lazarus from the dead, guess what? He can resurrect any situation or any circumstance in your life as well. So that, I want to just leave you with that when we're looking at things, we got to remember that fact or our natural eyes may say one thing, but faith should tell us something else. Faith should cause us to believe, know, and understand, even though it looks like that. My faith allows me to know that with God, all things are possible, and even those things that look dead can come back to life when I put God in the mix. So that is my encouragement to you with this message, is a reminder that it is not what it looks like. So remember, always choose faith over what seems like facts. This is Dr. Gwen with another Kingdom Content Moment. Be blessed.